Good day, everyone. Welcome to our discussion about employer-employee relationship. So this is our third module under labor laws and legislation. Today's session is one of the most critical foundations in human resource and labor law. Okay, so titingnan natin to, no? But to start with, let me give you the most important takeaway right now at the very beginning of our discussion. Okay, remember this: control determines employment. Okay, control determines employment. Everything we will be discussing today revolves around the principle. In this session, we will be covering the following. First is the legal foundation of employment. We are interested to know what particular legal basis directs or directly governing the relationship between the employer and the employee. Okay. Next is how to determine who is an employee. Not all concerned stakeholders, okay, can be classified as employee, no? We need to know what are the criteria na po pwede nating gamitin to establish, okay, the relationship between that individual and the business, whether they are an employee or not. Then the next one is the test used by the courts. Of course, there are some instances that the issues at hand, okay, can be elevated to the court. Ano ba yung mga legal tests na po pwede nilang gamitin or ginagamit ng korte para malaman, okay, kung yung tao na yon ay empleyado ng kumpanya natin or hindi. Okay, bakit importanteng malaman natin yan? Because even before the elevation of that particular issue to the court, po pwede na natin siyang i-apply. Makikita na natin kung saan tayo nakatayo. If we are standing on the winning side, okay, so po pwede pong ituloy yung kaso, no? Pero kung nakita natin that we are standing on the losing side, baka mas mabuting ayusin na po natin at that particular level para ma-avoid po natin yung mas malaking problema para sa kumpanya natin. Okay? Then, the rights and obligations of both employers and employees. Employers and employees are actually the two parties in an employment contract. So, bawat isa sa kanila mayroong kanya-kanyang rights and obligations. All of these rights and obligations must be written in the contracts, okay? The contract of employment. However, hindi po natatapos doon yon. Dapat alam ng employer ang mga rights and obligations of the employee. Okay? Alam din niya kung ano yung sarili niyang rights and obligations. And even the employees, dapat na i-discuss din sa kanya ng malinaw ano ba yung rights and obligations niya bilang employee at ano yung mga rights and obligations ng employer. Okay? Doon sa particular engagement or agreement na yan para magkaroon po sila ng kanya-kanyang expectations sa bawat isa. And one of the most important thing na gusto kong makita ninyo dito is the risk when HR gets it wrong. Okay? That is the last thing na pag-uusapan natin dito. As an HR, we are standing on the middle of the employer and employees. Okay? So hindi lang po tayo dito nag-i-exist to protect the business or the employer, no? We are also here to uphold the law and protect the employee. So dapat titingnan nyo dito, unang-una, paano ko mapoprotektahan yung sarili ko? Pangalawa, paano ko mapoprotektahan yung bread and butter ko, that's the business. Pangatlo, paano ko mapoprotektahan yung empleyado, okay? In a legal way. Okay? This is not just a theory, no? This is a real decisions that can either protect or expose, okay, us to this, okay, problems or even our organization, no? Bakit nga ba ito mahalaga? Okay, let me ask you a question. What will happen if you misclassify one worker? Okay? Importante kasi ito. If I am an employee, I want to be known, okay, as an employee of that particular organization. Okay? Just to protect my rights. Okay, as an employee. At saka, kailangan din ma-establish ko kung ano yung classification ko as an employee. Yan, yung tenure ko, meron ba akong tenure dito sa employment relationship na to? Okay? Kasi ang sagot diyan kapag na-misclassify natin yung isang worker, napakasimple pero seryoso 'yan. it will create a serious problem, okay, in the organization. You may end up paying years of back wages, benefits, damages. One mistakes can cost millions, For example, uh, meron tayong isang empleyado na tinanggal because we believe that the contract already expired. Okay, for example, 6 months lang yung nilagay nating kontrata sa kanya, no? Then, after 6 months, ni-rehire po natin siya ulit for another 6 months. Okay, and another 6 months. And on the third rehiring, hindi na po yan pumasok. Okay, sinabi niya na hindi na niya tatanggapin ulit yung panibagong kontrata dahil para sa kanya siya ay isa ng regular employee. Okay? So what will happen? Nag-file ng case yan, okay? And the case runs in court for 3 to 5 years. Then in the end, nag-decide ang korte, sasabihin niya, oh, permanent employee ito. Bayaran mo yung back wages niya for the last 5 years. Can you imagine that? Hindi nag-work, hindi nag-contribute sa success, okay, ng business natin yung individual na yan for 5 years, but we are obliged to pay back wages. Hindi lang back wages yan, pwedeng benefits, okay, plus damages. Yan. One mistake can cost us millions. That's why this topic is not optional. It is very, very essential. Okay? So, let's go to part 1, legal philosophy. Isa sa tanong natin kanina, ano ba yung specific na legal basis natin? Okay? Para mapag-usapan natin ng mabuti yung relationship between the employer tsaka yung employee. Okay? So that is the Civil Code of the Philippines, particularly Article 1700. Anong sinasabi niya? Labor is imbued with public interest. Okay? Labor is imbued with public interest. The law tells us that labor is not a commodity. What does that mean? It means employees are not just resources. They are protected by law and their welfare is a matter of public interest. Marami pong impact yan. Okay? Yung pagiging empleyado, napakalaki po ng nagiging contributions niyan in the society where the business is operating. Okay? So when you deal with employment, you are not just managing operations, you are dealing with legal and social responsibilities. Nakakatulong ka sa mga tao, okay, to create employment. Sa kanila, kapag nagkaroon ng employment yan, na-employed sila, of course, they will have their source of income. And that source of income will help them personally and even their family, okay, to support their daily living. Yan. Naisasend nila yung mga anak nila na mag-aral, okay? Nasusuportahan nila yung ibang relatives nila, even their parents, kaya nakakatulong sila sa society. Yan, okay? So, dapat bakit nga ba yung estado or yung gobyerno natin ay nakikialam pa dun sa private agreement between the employer tsaka employee? Okay, remember, dun sa employment contract, ang main, okay, parties dito are the employer tsaka yung employee. Okay? Why does the state regulate employment? The answer is because there is always an imbalance between the two. Okay? Employers generally have more power, they have more connections, influence, they have more resources. While employees depends on their jobs to survive. Kapag wala silang trabaho, wala silang source of income. Okay? Ito yung nagiging bread and butter nila. So the law steps in to protect workers, to establish the balance. And here is the key principle. Okay, tatandaan po natin yan, ha? In case of doubt, the law favors the employee. The law, okay, favors the employee. Again, in case of doubt, the law favors the employee. Many people believe HR exists only to protect the company. That is incomplete because HR exists in a certain organization because they need to balance organizational interest and employee protection. Okay? But of course, legally, alam po nating lahat that employees are given greater protection in law. So HR must act carefully, intelligently, and lawfully. Dapat maingat po sila dito. At hindi lang po dapat maingat dapat maalam po sila okay, sa mga batas na umiiral pertaining to the relationship between the employer and the employee. Okay, so let's go to part 2. Reality over form. Tandaan nyo po yan Reality over form, anong ibig sabihin yan? Okay, this is actually a very, very powerful doctrine. Reality prevails over form. There are some instances that, okay, the content of the employment contract ay hindi naman talaga nangyayari in reality or hindi nasusunod. Even if a contract says independent contractor, nakalagay dun sa contract, independent contractor yan. If the actual work reflects employment, then the law will treat that person as an employee. So napaka-importante po nito. Ang tawag po namin dito sa finance ay substance over form. Ano ba talaga yung katotohanan? Ano ba talaga yung totoo behind that particular document? So napaka-importante maintindihan po natin ito, no? Reality prevails over form. So, why does the law ignore job titles? Yun yung nandun sa contract Pinirmahan ng dalawa. Pumirma yung employer, pumirma yung employee, yung mga witnesses. Tapos, ano pang ginawa dyan? Okay? Pinanotaryo pa yan. So, it became a public documents. Okay? Why does the law ignore the content of the contract? The answer is because titles can be manipulated. So, totoo po yan. Pwede pong tawagin yan na consultant kahit na hindi naman talaga. Okay? In reality, empleyado siya. Paano ba natin nakikita yan? Okay? So, pwede nating tawagin yung tao as consultant, pwedeng tawagin natin as freelancer, pwedeng project-based. Okay? Para lang maiwasan po natin yung pagkakatali ni employer dun sa mga privileges, rights and privileges ng isang empleyado. But the law will always ask, what is the real working relationship? Ano po ba talaga yung nangyayari? Ano ba yung working relationship natin? Is it simply as consultant, freelancer, project-based? Or baka naman lumagpas na po tayo and we entered into employer-employee relationship. Okay? So napaka-importante pong makita po natin yan. If the HR relies only on contracts, the company is exposed. That is a risk, okay, on the part of the business. Misclassifications leads to legal disputes. Siyempre, kapag para sa akin, empleyado ako, pero classify mo ako as a contractor, makikita natin yan. Okay? Through a legal disputes. Financial losses, kapag nanalo yung empleyado at pinagbayad tayo ng mga danyos. Yan. Mga back wages, mga benefits na hindi naman nila napagtrabahuhan, di ba? Malaking financial loss yan sa company. Then reputational damage. Siyempre, malalaman ng iba, yung company na yan, hindi nila alam, pahalagahan ang mga empleyado nila. Okay? And that might ruin the reputation of the business. Always verify reality, not just documentation. Okay? Kaya po nandyan ang HR para maipaliwanag po ng maayos sa employer. Okay? Kung meron nang na-create na employer-employee relationship between the two parties. Okay? So, paano ba natin yan mai-establish kung meron na talagang employer-employee relationship? Pupunta po tayo dun sa part 3. Okay? Yung fourfold test na pwede po nating gamitin. Okay? So, ano ba yung mga fourfold test na yan? Una, to determine employment, courts use the fourfold test, namely, first, hiring. Ayan. Tingnan natin, sa hiring ba? Ano ba yung mga napagkasunduan? Paano ba natin pre-process yung hiring natin? Okay? Ano yung mga expectations na na-create? Payment of wages. Sino ang nagbabayad ng wages na yan? Paano binabayaran? Ano yung binabayaran? Okay? Power to dismiss. Sino ang may kapangyarihan para putulin yung relationship between the two? Okay? And the power to control. But among these, one stands above the rest. Kapag meron tayong nakitang control over that particular individual coming from the employer or the business, automatic po yan, pwede na siyang sabihin employment. Okay? So napaka-importante po niyan ha. Tatandaan po natin yon sa selection in hiring, payment of wages, power of dismissal, and the power of control. Yun po yung mga tinitignan ng korte to establish whether there is an employment relationship created by that particular agreement or wala. Okay? The most important element is actually control. Okay? Kapag meron tayong nakitang control dyan, it is a manifestation of employment. It is not about salaries, no? It is not about the contract. It is not about the title. Kapag meron na pong ini-exercise na control ang employer over that particular person, that is a manifestation of employment. So let's go to part 4. Paano ba yan ginagamit, no, sa control test? Okay. The key question is, does the employer control how the work is being done? Siya ba yung nasusunod? Minsan kasi may usapan yan eh. Okay. Dalhin mo sa akin yung ganito, feasibility study, tapos na. Okay. Wala akong pakialam kung paano mo yun gagawin. Wala akong pakialam if you will involve other people in the preparation of the feasibility study. Ang hinihingi ko lang ay ibigay mo sa akin yung feasibility study na nakapackage na. Yan. So wala tayong pakialam kung paano gagawin yon. Ang importante lang sa atin at ang babayaran natin ay yung mismong output, no? Or po pwede ding, okay, bibigyan mo ako ng feasibility study pero ganito ang gawin mo. Okay? And from time to time, titignan ko yung movement or yung development ng feasibility study na ginagawa mo. Okay? If the employer controls how the work is being done, employee yan. Pero kung hindi, contractor yan. Okay? So malinaw po yun? Para hindi po natin yan makalimutan, here is, okay, a simple formula. Okay? If we are interested on how the work is being done, how, okay, that is employment. Yeah. If we are talking about what is to be given, okay, pertaining to the output, that is contractor. Kung yan ay how, memorize this how, that is employment. Kapag what, that is contractor. If you control the process, employee yan. If you only require results, contractor yan. Okay? So clear po tayo doon. So let's make it practical. An employee has fixed hours, fixed schedule, tama? Okay? Is being supervised, tama? Is expected to follow instructions from time to time from the supervisor. And the supervisor is actually the representation of the employer. Okay? Pero ang contractors, meron siyang sariling methods, no? Works independently from the business, from the supervisors. Okay, of that particular business, from the employees of that particular business, from the management. Uses their own tools. Okay, meron siyang sariling schedule. Decides how to perform the work. Walang pakialam yung business. Sabi ko nga kanina, okay, ang dadalhin mo na is the finished product, the output na. At yun yung babayaran ng business. Okay? See the difference? Okay? It's all about control. Malinaw po yan, ha? Malinaw na control po yung kinamit nating basihan dyan to determine whether the relationship is between an employer and employee or a contractor and, okay, the business. Yan. Okay? So let's go to part 5, the contract, okay, versus reality. Yan. Paano ba yan? The key question here is, why can contractors still be employees? Okay, even if the contract says contractor. If the worker is controlled like an employee, then legally that person is an employee. Always look beyond the document because, okay, employer controls work, uses company tools, follows company schedule. Okay, so malinaw po yun ha. Yan. Okay. So ano ba yung golden rule natin dito? Wag niyong kakalimutan to ha. Okay? Label does not determine status. Hindi importante kung ano yung nandun sa kontrata mo, kung anong nakalagay, no? Contractor ba 'yan? Consultant ba 'yan? Employee ba 'yan? Or whatsoever, no? Hindi po yan yung magdi-determine. Kahit na ano pong nakalagay doon sa taas ng mesa niyo, director, president, etc., etc. Pero normally kapag president yan, hindi naman siguro, ano? Okay? Controls determines employment pa rin. Yun pa rin yung magiging benchmark natin dito. Okay? That is the most basic principle na kailangan nating tandaan. Okay? So again, the golden rule is label does not determine status and control determines employment. Okay? So let's go to part 6, regular employment. Ano ba yung regular employment na yan? Meron bang non-regular? Okay, syempre meron. Another important principle is that if the work is necessary or desirable to the business, the employee becomes regular. And tatandaan niyo po if the work is necessary or desirable to the business, the employee becomes regular. This is automatic under the law. Okay? Automatic po yan. Ngayon, kung kailangan po yan dun sa operation ng business, okay? O di kaya desirable po yan dun sa okay, operation ng business, that will makes you a regular employee. Okay, example. A school cannot function without teachers. Tama po ba? Regular yan. In a restaurant, a cook, okay, is necessary para sa operation ng restaurant. Regular po yan. Waiter, okay, regular po yan. Kasi kailangan po doon sa operation ng restaurant yung waiter. Okay? These roles are necessary. Therefore, they are regular employees. Yan. Pero ito yung warning natin sa mga HR practitioners natin. You must avoid this. Una, repeated short-term contracts. Okay, minsan kasi ang ginagawa natin, no? Okay, hinahati-hati natin yung kontrata nila. Yan. Yung contract nila will run for 5 months, then after 5 months, they will be renewed for another 5 months, another 5 months, another 5 months, another 5 months, continuously. And that will manifest the needs of the business, okay, dun sa trabaho na ibinibigay nila. Yan, okay? And that will make them regular employee. Ang problema, kapag kinukonsider natin as HR na non-regular yan, of course, they cannot enjoy the benefits of regular employees. Okay? But in fact, regular employee na po pala sila, so po pwedeng magkaroon po ng problema yan. Okay? Baka iakyat po yan at ikaso tayo. So in that particular case, we are exposed or being exposed, okay, to a bigger problem or loss. Okay? In monetary terms. Yan. Okay? O di kaya yung misuse of casual or project-based status. Okay? Remember, the law prohibits permanent temporary employment. Bawal na bawal po yun, yung permanent temporary employment. Ang hinihingi po ng batas ay permanent employment, hindi po permanent temporary employment. Okay? So may bangga po yan sa atin. How about part 7 on the security of tenure? So importante rin po ito, no? Na maintindihan natin what is security as a constitutional right of an employee, no? Employees has the right to security of tenure. Tatandaan na po yan, ha? Employees have the right to security of tenure. They cannot be dismissed without first just cause, okay? Plus due process. This is a constitutional guarantee. Kapag hindi po ito nasundan, of course, magkakaroon po ng malaking problema yung okay, employer. Yan, okay? Pero ano po ba yung due process na yan, ha? Ano ba yung due process? Okay? Actually, there is a twin notice involved in due process. Pero tatlong steps po yan, ha? Ang due process po natin requires notice to explain. Okay? Dapat meron kang first notice, pag-explainin mo yung empleyado. Okay? ano ba talaga ang nangyari? Kasi baka isang side lang ang nakikita natin dito. Kailangan nating maintindihan yung side ng employee. Okay? And we will be giving him or her an opportunity to be heard. Dapat i-explain niya yung sarili niya dito, no? Pakinggan po natin. Baka naman hindi natin nakikita yung other side of the story. Then, after that, ipoprocess po natin yan and we will inform, okay, that particular employee about the decision being made by the employer, by the management. Okay? So, notice to explain, opportunity to be heard, then notice of decision. Skipping these steps creates liability on the part of the employer. Okay? So, importante po yan. Merong nangyari dyan, no? Let's talk about Agabon Doctrine, no? Even if there is a valid reason to dismiss, kahit na valid yung reason to dismiss. If due process is not followed, the employer may still pay damages. Okay? Because procedure matters. Nagkakaroon yan ng penalty. So, dapat tatandaan nyo po yun, kahit na merong valid cause, dapat susundan pa rin natin yung due process for us to have a valid dismissal or yung tinatawag nating safe termination. Okay? Ang formula po natin dito ay valid cost plus due process. Yan. At magkakaroon po tayo ng safe termination. Both must be present. Yung valid cost at saka yung due process. Okay? So next, part 8 is economic dependence. So tingnan po natin yung economic dependence dito, no? Okay, yung repeated hiring indication. Okay? Why does repetition matters? Okay? Pwedeng magkaroon ito ng continuity, dependence, or real employment. Okay? Yung sinasabi ko kanina, no? Continuity, yung contract in papers, nakakat po siya into a smaller period of time. Okay? Hindi na pinapaabot ng 6 months kasi baka magkaroon ng automatic permanency, okay? Or regularization yung employee. So, ang ginagawa, every 5 months kinakat. Tapos, after that 5 months, renewal ulit. Okay? And so on and so forth. Dependence, yung business operations nakadepende po sa trabaho na ibinibigay ni labor at yung trabaho ni labor nakadepende din po ang pamumuhay nilang buong pamilya in that particular case. Okay? Then real employment, baka naman yung actual na employment situation or condition creates employer-employee relationship na regardless of kung ano yung nakasulat dun sa kontrata. Okay? Courts look at patterns, not isolated contracts. Tatandaan po natin yan. Tinitingnan po nila ano ba talaga yung nangyayari. Okay? Using other evidences aside from the contract. Of course, importante pa rin naman yung kontrata, but they are going beyond the contract. Okay? So, ang formula natin dito, you can memorize this. Repeated hiring plus necessary work is equal to regular employee. Napaka-importante po niyan, ha? Likely, nagiging regular employee yan kapag repeated hiring yung ginawa at saka yung work niya is necessary in the operation of the business. Okay? Sa part 9 naman, HR as a legal gatekeeper. Napaka-importante po ng trabaho ng mga HR personnel dito, no? HR is the gatekeeper, okay? So, your control over hiring, classification, discipline, and termination. Okay? So, titignan po nating mabuti ito. Kaya dapat ang mga HR practitioners, kabisadong-kabisado po nila yung process, okay? Yung mga legal basis, at saka yung mga best practices in the hiring, classification, discipline, and termination of employees. Why? Because every decision carries legal consequences. Napaka-importante po yan. Okay? Napaka-importanting maintindihan po natin as the gatekeeper of the employer-employee relationship. Yan. Bakit nga ba nagiging liable ang mga HR personnel dito? When HR makes mistakes, the company pays. Di ba? Hindi naman yung HR ang nagbabayad eh. Yung kumpanya. Babayaran niya yung back pay, wages, back pay nila, yung mga benefits nila, okay? Yung mga damages na po pwede nilang i-claims, po pwedeng i-reinstate din sila dun sa previous na position nila, etc. etc. Carry or cases arise, po pwede kasing magkaroon yan ng kaso, lawsuits, okay, na po pwedeng magresulta sa financial losses, okay, and ultimately reputational damage. Why? Okay, this is why expertise in labor law is critical. So, hindi po basta-basta ang pagiging human resource manager. Dapat po expert po tayo sa labor law. And of course, we are very, very well, okay, informed dun sa mga tinatawag nating best practices in HR management. Okay? So, importante po yan, ha? Next, para naman dito sa HR commandments, okay? Always remember this. Una, always check control. Pangalawa, check the nature of work. Pangatlo, do not rely on contracts alone and follow due process. Kapag meron ka nitong apat na to or ginawa mo yung apat na to, okay? Magiging safeguard po natin yan, magiging protection po natin yan. At masisigurado po natin na tama po yung magiging desisyon natin. Kung ano man po yan, okay, whether that is pro or against the employee. Okay, that is our protection. Now, let me ask you. Let me ask you this question. If you were the HR director, what is the most important principle in employment determination? What is your answer? If you were the HR director, what is the most important principle in employment determination? Ano sa tingin niyo? My answer is, control determines employment. Tama po ba? Hindi po yung job titles, hindi po yung contracts, hindi po yung payment. Ito po yung control. Okay? Control over the manner of work. Napaka-importante pong maintindihan natin yan. Okay? Take this with you before we end. Control is equal to employment. Control is equal to employment. Reality is always heavier than contract. Kung ano po yung nangyayari on the ground, yun po ang magmamatter. Hindi po kung ano yung nakasulat sa kontrata. Okay? Then necessary work is equivalent to regular. Necessary work is equivalent to regular. Okay? So, importante po yan, ha? HR people, remember this. HR is not just administration. HR is the guardian of lawful employment. So let me leave you with this doctrine, consistent, upheld by the Supreme Court of the Philippines. Control is equal to employment. Reality is always heavier than contract. Reality matters. And necessary work is regularization. On a final thought, contracts can be written in minutes, right? You can write the contract within 1 hour, within 30 minutes, within 10 minutes, but cases can last for years. So always get it right at the start. Thank you. And I'm ready for your questions. Just send it to me.